Patalo fatu Asiata Leiataua, Faftai Lava Moleava no.
Malova Jai, so your thoughts surely over Yakunganga Mata Mailu officer. What are your thoughts about the Ile press conference in Samoa?
Yes, I think everyone came dressed nicely. The one thing that I did pick up on, which I wanted to talk about, was realizing the cracks in the journalism associations in Samoa. And Laoli addressing that is really good, that they need to come together and build their processes and their structures properly. Our boss, Anai, talked about it, and he emphasized those key points. And I think if they have more honest conversations like this with the Prime Minister, they'll actually make some progress to build a media council and to build a JAWS that is sustainable and that can last a long time in Samoa. So those are my thoughts. For me, it was progressive. It was a good thing that Laoli and Leiataua addressed everyone in that manner. But yeah.
O te whatura lau dala le media council le usau no mai ia le tausala ia Hanna. O le fo ina highlight mai le tusia le JAWS. O le JAWS. A whapea le taulau o le whinangalo le whionga le pāle mia I le whaamaria ina ona o winga o le observer. Ona lei lea pe ave leo se formal complaint. A nga I le council. Do we have a council? Now o le usau no le pāle mia.
Exactly.
Lea taua I ona sau no leo Hanna.
Ngal council pe la. Wa o le ala ka le ka whamai le pāle mia. Ia oia ave mako fasia lesko council. In fact, sa kaunga pisi vaenga nge whakulanga lako council. Ngomo vesi de mele. A waru le anga lako kaimi il kau fai foi le fale anga pare mia ma kau fai e bakul pare mia fako ese malea. A wole ai mase oe e o kenasi lako council. Vai se lako urgent meeting whakulanga le council. O bai fa pe mai pare mia. Leo foi mako council. A kongo la sosangi nga kulanga lea I la observa ma la fai fonga sosangi le JAWS le mo ala pisi solo e meia ala ka kia le me sikin ka o council because ngale e adi ya de han e o ele malo ma ka o le council wo uma o fa kula fongo so kula fongo
Na tonulo.
Ai fa per kula fongo a for lobo po femeo ia.
Hanna, do we see a starting of something and it's a must e konga fai le council lea. We've got a building le JAWS I Samoa le o mana ia le ofisa fa tai ia Australia. Fa matala o te taulo no lo e fai le vaenga lea.
I think from my analysis of how all of these events have unfolded, the first thing that I am skeptical over and critical over is the fact that they released these letters and their media council is not even set up and their JAWS association is not set up. Why are you releasing a letter if internally it's cracked? So a better thing for them to do is to work things out internally before they release these letters. It makes absolutely no sense. In regards to building and moving forward, they have a lot of work to do just based on how the events have unfolded. And they were so quick to put on a face, like, this is what we think. Like everything in the background is falling. And so unfortunately, Maina was the person who came to the table and exposed it, through her post, and we just addressed these things through our platform. But there will be, I do believe that they can come together, but there needs to be humility from all of these people to come together for something common.
Till now, Leiataua mahana. Until now, well, te watu waila utu siakia. Ele ia se apologies from observer. Le fo watu mamai adu sa unanga ale fionga le pale mia. Mangingo ar sa unanga le pale mia le JAWS. La ko maila ia kafaso ufinga ngalo. A ko wo e fai observer o mai fa ko ese. In other words, le nga yir kanga ko fisidi la nga le mangingo ke le akur fa fonga fisidi. Al fisidi. Po le ase me mafainga ko e o le kaime ko e kalia ile observer by the sounds of it. Kali le fionga palmia. La lo ke lor me fai. What are your thoughts?
No. La sa le palmia. Ele fai ko mai ai le fai mo mele. Ala lo le lo observer me fai. Ole fonga o fa fi le ngi. Langa inkia le la kwa umba inkia le lor vale a fea le Samoa le observer o ai le kanga le faulu i le observer o se Samoa a o ka ko e fiki le i langa le mafafo fiki mai mafafo fa fiki fo ngai a o le Samoa i ka un sa o fa le mele le fa mele le fo ngai le sa ngong le il panmia lai lo e observer me ka un fa lai lo
Yeah.
Hanna, from a New Zealand media perspective, anga o se media le a New Zealand le ua fai mai le was say you've told a lie about the government.
Yeah.
Famata ano le Herald po Radio New Zealand famata ua already apologize.
Yes. So, fortunately, here in New Zealand, I'm not trying to say we're better or anything. We have a media council and we have a broadcasting standards authority where formal complaints can be taken to. Obviously, this is not developed in Samoa. But if someone was to report the same way that Observer has been reporting lies, twisting headlines, clickbait narratives that are hidden behind paywalls, they would have been removed a long time ago. And the people who hold them accountable is the Broadcasting Standards Authority. So those things need to be set up in Samoa as well. And I would highly recommend it for them to set it up to the values of Samoa culture. Because what I've also realized is that all of these associations, Bina, Jaws, who came out quickly and jumped the gun, they were protecting themselves. And the 4 pillars of democracy, right? The media, they're supposed to actually take care of the people. But because of this intense and also the releasing of articles from New Zealand, they all jumped the gun and protected themselves, but they're not actually protecting the people. The way they protect the people is by telling the truth, which they didn't. Instead, they said, let's protect us first as journalists, and it diverted from what was actually happening with Laoli and Samoa Observer.
O le uta ua e hana le tūlanga o le vaenga le broadcast por PSA, Broadcasting Standard Authority. O le winga o la utala. Leiataua, ele o le mele le kau pangu ai mai ngā. Ave ia ingi la ko complain pe afa pe wa yini vaenga o tatu solia. Ale ka woso e mai ele malo e mai ele lo yesiri e koso ko ai ka ko sa. Fa maka o le mesa o le ale misi.
Me mo kwa le mama ngale. E position male. Ma nganga ma fa kula ngale o le fanga le organization le. Pa wa mele ma vai ya menga o mo ko finga fa kusi. Ai o ki kong ele msi so la ko mama mo la ko kyuki. E o ya la. Pero ya lang yan mo fo. O ya lang ikaw fo minga le council fa kula nga meia. Ele se me foi.
Ei.
So e fo nga mai la e ni tele ele fo le Jaws. Se so sangi mai malo, le nga kanga train. A fa kula nga la ko me ma sering ko sangi la ko me fa.
O le sila me le la o so mai marka mai ango so a mai na muli e fa mai ele perme ele o tulanga le o painda le malo i tulanga fo i o pasia in o le act le media act a ina ia fanda i tulanga o ale la o mo mai sia o mai so si sa mo le vave mai ele se me o paindinga ele paindinga le malo le me
a o no fa malo pupai e mama na mo pupai e wa ngo fa nga.
Ia, ole vaenga le na tau watu le matu faso. Ongo o kele ia to me for kele isi mata upu fa mau taimi le sa fesiringia. Now, I believe Hanna e ile tusi ele observer me se foi ile ato.
Yes.
Ele la to what's the latest on that?
Yeah, sure. If we could just bring that up on the screen, please, the Samoa Observer article. Well, they've written to the Prime Minister again. They wrote to the Prime Minister on Wednesday, and they just published the article today, Friday. So they gave the Prime Minister 2.5 days to respond to their letter. The 5 things that they asked for is, 1, the editorial is an opinion, and the Constitution protects every citizen's right to express one. Is an opinion not permitted, and is it a valid reason to ban a newspaper? The second thing they asked was, can you show or provide proof that a clarification was sought? The Samoa Observer reached out to ask why the photo was edited and who was responsible, but no response was given. The story proceeded because it was factual, unless you can prove otherwise. The third thing they asked was, the reason does not mean that every story was false and no quote was ever attributed to MFAT in our report. Is a leaked story that undermines the authority of the Prime Minister not permitted, even if it is true? The fourth, we never received a retraction or correction request. The only communication was an email from Nanai on the 4th of November, sent after the story was first published on the 30th of October, saying he's following up on a correction retraction. We replied seeking further clarification, but to this day, no response has been provided. It'll be helpful if you can show us which retraction or correction request this is referring to. And the final request was, the reason given says stopped by the police at the gate is that considered trespassing under the law. How is their approach rude or disrespectful? Past prime ministers have always been open to reporters visiting their homes for updates, as is expected of those holding the highest public office. Is there now a restriction at the current prime minister's residence? So those are the questions that they've sent to the Prime Minister's office. It's only been 2 days, and they've now made it into an article.
Who's the writer, is it?
Let me see. It is Jarnet Malifa. Jared Malifa.
Jared Malifa. Ole tangata tonua le ua. Pule le ole observer. Le ua yaite. O ia le ua sui tūlanga fu ile ilona tama. Ya Sano Malifa. Ya ma o ia fu ila le tua o nei me umai tarali mai temil nei. Ale to.
O le ariko mo kwa le malama la ka le kusinga me le ariko le. Poringa mai e mo kwa le ai mo songa I lo me le kupu me le ka ke vesi. La mo ke le vesi le fai fa pe. Ala o mo ka di umangi vesi. Umo ka di mo vesi. Ele mo sile le kadia lo ko ala foko vesi la vesi le kas. Ele se aikia fo ele su ele le me inga ia. Inga I fai se mafukanga le. Al fonga kai malako. E mo le sime. Okay. Ese kakaren kusi ya yang filima.
Ia.
Ese for kusi nga
Lea ole malia se fatula utalali
eto. Kusi da nga filima.
Ia. Le tusi le ave nga I le official pamia.
Waila fa barbaria. Ola kusi ya nga filima o fonga ile imka opuya. Aile se issue nga fil. Ole issue al pale mia mal observer. Ele se issue nga filima observer. Elela se me la kadi you'll be very wrong for Angafili to reply. Aile se mka opu Angafili.
Ole sima engale ata wole uti atai. Ele leina mare vai leina ole tusi lea. Ole uti fi ata. O wai fato a mai tusi leina o mal tato por kala me nafi. E ele vai nga na ta ua ele fionga ile lipule ya nai. Lena to repeat nei le uti ata. Pe ole wa ma ile si leina ole vai nga lea. Ole esenga ole journalist ma le talk show ma le host o pe ole mele lena to sa no ai anai ole fa so ai ka ua TV talk por talk show fa pe nei op express the opinion e ma ke fa so ai mata upu a noa e a mai le fact ma ka ho filo lea ma kwa va ilia ave runga ave
fa ma theory
lenga ai ole kusinga lau article e ke le fai aingi o la ngonga. You don't express opinion when you write about something. If Lauli says turn right, you write the Prime Minister says turn right. Ai a fai a mai lungo fa so e ma fai nga ma fa pe o leng sa ngo mai le fionga par mia kau ke turn right. Eingi mafu anga lenga ta ko turn right. Eingi lave o turn o kilo mai dese senga. Ala kusi le ngai ile lenga ngai fai mai. O le la totala le sa fai e winga ile fono fo ile. Fa mai they were expressing their opinion.
O me fa Facebook nga.
Exactly.
Ngai ile lenga ngai fai mai ile tusi. Fai mai. O le mātou wata, la mantua o le mele fai aku el pale mia. O le fai kala wha akupu. Ua fai se fongo kanga. A le whaururunga o kanga ruenga pale mia, ma le official pale mia, ma le whailau kusi. Ma le sui pale mia. e kalango ai ngai se kala fu se fu alalo e ave par mi ele kaunga mit makanga kaya le ala wa sau ngai anga fili o le faila utusi al par mi makau mai se e le se me anga faia a le wo vatu ana na file la to tusi o lo fai mai o le mele na o le it's an opinion o le mato opinion le mele na
Ole loku ese Facebook male.
Exactly.
Newspaper.
Vai.
Ole lo por newspaper por Facebook le fai la coca.
And I think that's the problem.
Yes.
That's the problem, is that they are failing to recognize if they are a factual news piece or news company or an opinion piece. And this is also a constant debate in Western countries, is whether media should have opinion pieces, because they are the fourth democratic pillar. For me personally, I don't think media should have opinion pieces. I think they should just report on the facts and leave the opinions to all the other broadcasters and watchdogs. But that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, well, I that too, yeah. Or the digital manager, right? Digital manager Jared Malifa is responsible for managing the newspaper's digital presence and strategy. He led the launch of the Samoa Observer's official TikTok page.
Yeah, look, yo. O meu fa TikTok nem so.
Misa se kongi me runga. Wa mai han tau ye. Ya, or kakale ale fer kusilia.
Ele kauila ia per kusile le o ia le pule sili. O ia fa ngor TikTok o meu fa ngor menga.
Yeah, well, he is a frequent contributor of articles, columns, and news reports on a range of topics, including politics and local Samoan news. Yeah, well,
how do you read?
And Jared, part of the family that owns, operates the independent Samoa Observer newspaper.
Well.
O le alo sano ai vai la manga ya o ia le ngalonjinga mela le se vai o ia nga amakanga kamale he led the launch of the Samoa Observer's official TikTok page wingo le ka sele li idea o le fai ma fa TikTok e le tele a o le me pito ile anga le fai ele tu o se avanoa po se aso se fi how many working days le Leiataua mahana. And normally, ave anga is company po se mal in order to respond back mai.
3 to 5 business days. 3 to 5 business days is the normal reply time.
Al mele nga faya kusir kaya ol article ai ko fikangi sira fia fila i kari met pan mia. Então se sila tu ye. Tu sai tu sila tai o fo mai o laua avele ai fa mangingo mai. Ai nga malu ai ola fia i reply mai. Ko yo so mai lo lunga fo mai they still haven't replied back.
Yeah.
Okay, I like theories.
We allow.
Okay. Afa pengi la o le observer avele le parimia ile code. Olala ko reason ave ile code. Yeah. Free longo lua. Ama get parimia avele observer ile code. Ole free ole fanga ole reason of defamation. It's a criminal charge. So le reason al parimia e ongo su ai le observer defamation. A ke le lola po la le liko la side al observer. E su al parimia. Walang le la fa mo ngela le fanga ngel kula fongo le fa le lo o kasilima. Le council. Ai le se council. So or of city la il firida. Oi la ko ka fot pui pa fa pe so le siles.
Kiro ka ko mo fa pui mo. Ola. Hanna, mailo dia e so finangano le ile theory. I got father.
No, I didn't have any additions to that theory.
Man ya. To me Leiataua, the Prime Minister and his office have every reason and every right and valid reason o kangi mafua anga kakau e suwa observer. Defamation.
Por el like lawful.
Kele makua ai o te fatu lo tala. La Auli is not that kind of person.
No.
Exactly.
He will never ever do such thing.
But ka ko kalanga pe afai ka ke o
E
le
sa oe.
loko, ka ko le loko.
Observer, ele se ground le ataua.
Ile se pia.
E matua fiu e su e se ground.
E kulu ngore ya.
Ia. Ele iropo awa e okula makalangi famai. O le lako opinion langa express. E expressing your opinion i rofa I karafakupu.
Ya.
E ke faku se kalanga e fai mai la ia. Ia ko lo per menga ka sa nga fio no tele fiaru tele ia. O le la wa fai la utangi e winga I fale anga o te mari anga o nei tangata mo wa inga. E fa mai ia. E fa mai kara ko inga le ro ia I runga I pokala me le fa mai.
Mo me o palo, mo me o.
Pa mai la ka ko ia.
Mo me o nga ke kakari ai.
Le la wa lead mai I le sia o fa fisili Leiataua and Hanna. Now the Prime Minister le fionga le pan mi sunga la udan marito. Le na si u ye la na sa ngam fa pe. Fa pe ane le au tustala. Ele am si o ko fisili mai. Ma le vaenga la le sa ngoi le sunga le fionga pan mi. O le o fatu e tuila e partala. O pasia ka peneta. Le toe tutongina o le tupe le ainga por tupe le ainga o le fionga palmia le sa kongile le vale le foi le sa wai e la singa ma ale o sa ngot palmia le ai se me fa penga o fia la le mo mai observa ko ainga skailia
O skai nga le o skai uma la ku skala
le foi sa wai mamai nga
Observa le o sa mai nga. O kaloso, mega ka o kaloso.
Yes. And I honestly don't think Lauri needs to reply to this letter because they've proven that, you know, they've created false lies about him. And sometimes prime ministers are selective with who they engage with in the media. So he does not need to reply to this. I also think this is a bait to try and bait the prime minister to reply. They have an entire plan to rip him to shreds so that they can make more money because they're all profit driven. It's all about money for them.
ia e te lo sil fia la vaenga e tau lunga le tatu wa fa so na la fotu le lo fina ngal fai o le me mali na tatu fa te italia me sel to tele uma po le se fina ngal le fionga le par mi en ta pula a sa ukat la iro la observan me fai le na le usa no ia Hanna ele se me ka fuang ka ia par mi ia ko inga kuskusinga me fa pengi
Doesn't need to.
Eyoi, maar lang. Now, when do we see? And it happened for Leiataua. Will they come down off their high horses? Fa maka ole aka ko va ai observe ole a o mai la lo yo la ko sur fangua ma wolunga ole wa uma na tamir in kia le ma fa olo aka wa uma mai le Pacifica ni usila o a uma ma media ole pina wa kami solo ale sa usa ngan panmia ele ya se me osuia fa wa suspend makua ko fa ngala to ma what do you think?
Well, ye kau ka kon par mi e ba venga mala malama ye fafo ile reason why inga ban mala fo ke kilo se singa fo par mi le hau vai kus kusinga ia a ka mai ka popoko mo ka mai in the end fonga ngela sa onga ia o fisi kele la ngi how long o la le umbi fonga ai ku ia ia observe mele longo winga la o le merke vai ngi ale fa ko se pa observe o le lunga le ko e fiu observe fa le a lo umara ko kala ka fa le ala la vai ya ku fa fo la okay pa mi so fisi kele la bala le observe pe ma fai o fa ko ese ma wi fo lo ilalo a ese le inkiele wala ngai le Samoa mai le ma fa fa Samoa le inkia ai o ko fa ko va ma fa lo le ngai va ko fa le ka pu
Yeah. And I think another thing that we all have to think about is like maybe put yourselves in the Prime Minister's shoes for a second. And if he engages with Samoa Observer, what that choice could lead to widespread misinformation internationally. So he has to protect the nation. If he knows a newspaper is continuously writing lies, he has to be careful. If I say one thing to this newspaper, they'll twist it. So he's thinking about everyone else as well. And I think it's important for us to put ourselves in his shoes so we can understand why, you know, because the media is always like, why aren't you allowing us? They're entitled. They're thinking we should be at this table. We should be at this table. But there's more that Leiataua has to think about in this decision making.
O le si vaenga whai, ai tau tira tu tau lunga. O re kamai palo mar kamai angoso le kongi muli e mainga. Pele mo mai singa funding al malo. E fundai now. O le tala lea ma le vaenga lea ma le o le la avatu e rufi ngalo le Leiataua Hanna. A ruaru ngai la ai wa laudi. Wa ko si la ko e se lo ko ro for ngai pan mia. E ko kikia pe o tala foi le e mafaya me o mai le lofa. Le wa umang sa ngo yel pan mia o e fai le mai nga mai le se kilo a officially la o ke ko mo o lua on behalf of the media. E mau wai se kau ka sa o I o le vaenga le pe a funded government. O le winga o la kala. O lea kau ke claim we're so wanted to be the fourth pillar, the independence pillar. A fund la ka kou le malo I mea. O le a kau karsa o ka konguku for the future mea. Pe o le a depends ir ko inga malo malau ai lo foi la ko inga me foi le e ki nganga kaunga e kango e keep le malo accountable mo me uma ai o le a ele kau kala o nga ke musu ke o misiro along. What are your thoughts?
Ole orkele yo mga upo ora o mari parmia o kapenga mai ele le ki kapenga gale o kapenga gale e include mal la policy ele me foi nga ko el maro se kupa ko o fa le nga mai ngai that will never happen e ka nga ba ko el maro ki ko malo condition marco salamo male lumanga ko ka pule la fa ngi ai fa pela ba ko kupe Abakul maro kupe o e fai mai ko kala fa balea mako kala fa le ngai ma kala fa le ngai le maro o ka wala ko kala le ngo pa ko fai e palmia ele o mo la o male ko o le position o palmia o Samoa
le ngo fo
o ngala mo ko confident la le palmia ele ke a fa fo mele ko puyo ele ke a fa fo e kala ngo palmia o kala ngo o ia o fonga ngo fo Samoa o si la si me lunga
Hanna, so what are your thoughts if in the future the government will fund this so-called council of media and all this the chores get allowances will the neutrality be continuously in the future for the future ole media in Samoa or what depends if the government funded us and then we'll talk accordingly?
I think there's a lot of things to consider. The first being that there needs to be a lot of training with our journalists first. If where we are right now, if the government funded it today, I don't think we'd be able to pull out something successful. But I do want to be fair because, you know, the previous prime ministers, they failed to support and invest into the infrastructure of the Media Council and also JAWS. And that failure has led to today. So now them scramming all over the place, posting up things on Facebook, protecting face. So above processes, improving processes, there needs to be an internal cleansing of these people and understanding their role, first of all. In New Zealand, we have funded media, government-funded media, Radio New Zealand, Pacific Media Network. But even though it's funded, it's not perfect. And an example of that was last week when we had Renate Rivers post a headline that was really misleading. And you can see here that there are cracks in every system. And building a media infrastructure in Samoa is not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. New Zealand's been at it for the last 30, 40 years, constantly improving. So it takes a lot of strong leadership, I think, first from our Prime Minister, which he's doing, and humility. Humility from anyone in the JAWS, the journalists that are there to work together and just come together for the good of the people.
Malo no tato taimi fa tayo lo viringa lo valia. O awang evese kupe ya o ye sa fa ye mai ngai kongu ilme. Or karasa wanga.
Especially go to dress right.
Right now, no. I'm sorry.
On me mo ifon kupe ave ke miri se imatua fa tu langa lele. Ma o ye tanga tai ele matua e fa pena na uto ya na matua consider lele o le tu langa. E ya ai mo le temi. Ma fe ngai papa kiu. Ngai nai me fa pena tau na am tamatai ya tulanga ole o le famui moi
Whaingai ko whanmesinga o tamoe moe kupe ma koe malo. Because that takes time.
Kongwa. Ia se mea la alai fua na te ia wa kami o so e manga e whande malo. Le menga e le fisiria kula e pape whengi whandingo ngamea.
Le vana pe fai auskaria. Ia la fai whane ngale wakuro in kupe whaila kome.
Le vana e tau muli a fia me e te le fisiria i nafsiri. A e li fo e wha so solo mai o i tua ma e o so ila ia. Mai mo fo le teimi tulo wa. Ioi. Teimi le nei tu har tangata iona vai. Fai le ngaruenga fai male ami o tonu. Ngai vai la ia. Ia. I le saa ko wha manguyanga. Ioi. E me se fo le watu le elenga tole malo a o me o donuts fo ie. Anu waku e makua fund umatatou. Pe ava ia tunga e sao. Ioi e fia fund maingi me ai o so mai runga e oki.